have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
An army of secret police who held the power of life and death over every individual.
A new world order.
Participants of the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal are looking for ways to save the trade agreement after Donald Trump pulled America out of it. Australia's government, which vows to keep the agreement alive, has suggested that China could plug the gap. Trans-Pacific Partnership, or TPP, was a free trade agreement between the US and 11 Pacific countries. It was expected to cover 800 million people and encompass 40% of the global economy. Originally, China was not even invited to the project, with many experts seeing it as an attempt to contain the nation's influence in the region. After Donald Trump pledged to put America first in his inauguration speech, a senior Chinese foreign ministry official hinted that Beijing may pick up the torch of global leadership if no one else does.
It's not China that's rushing to the front, but rather the front runners have stepped back, leaving the place to China. If China is required to play that leadership role, then China will assume its responsibilities.
As I've just said to the US Chamber of Commerce, encouraging them to encourage their congressmen and senators to support it, that the TPP is much more than a trade deal. The prosperity of the world, the security of the world, has been founded on the peace and order in the Asia-Pacific, which has been delivered, underwritten by the United States and its allies, including Australia. And what we've been able to do there is deliver a period of peace, a long period of peace, from which everybody has benefited. And America's case, its proposition, is more than simply security. It is standing up for, as you said, the rules-based international order. An order where might is not right, where the law must prevail, where there is real transparency, where people can invest with confidence. And the TPP is lifting those standards. And so it is much more than a trade deal.
As it may allow foreign corporations around the world to sue the government over a change to any law, including laws that provide cheap access to medicines or protect farmland from coal seam gas mining. This not only undermines our sovereignty, it also exposes taxpayer dollars to expensive lawsuits. Thankfully, not everyone is willing to sign on the dotted line just yet. In fact, most government officials still have no idea what we're even signing on to, for good reason. In the US, Democrats and Republicans are uniting to oppose a fast-tracking of the TPP, demanding open debates and negotiations instead, despite a powerful corporate lobby that wants their deal signed before the public has a chance to realise what's at stake. It's our job to make sure our elected officials unite in the same way, by standing up to overseas corporate interests and looking out for what's best for Australians. Here's the deal. Without a strong public outcry, politicians will only hear the concerns of multinational corporations. And once the TPP is signed, it's here forever. There's no expiration date, and it's almost impossible for governments to withdraw. This dirty deal has been deliberately branded as a free trade agreement. It's anything but free for people like you and me. And it's not really about trade. It could cost us our internet freedom, labour rights, access to affordable medicine, the safety of our food, and protections that keep our water and air clean. Nobody wants to be stuck with a backroom deal we don't want and never voted for. Find out more, speak up and spread the word.
Free trade deal, but in reality it is anything but free. And 80% of it isn't even about trade.
There are 29 chapters, only 5 of them have to do with trade. They have to do with our freedom on the internet. They have to do with the financial regulation, food and product safety.
The treaty covers nearly half of the world's economy and is the largest ever negotiated. It will have implications beyond matters of trade, intruding into almost every aspect of people's lives. The TPP bans favoring local businesses Experts say it will send millions of jobs overseas and drive down wages and conditions at home. Multinational corporations will be able to sue the government for passing laws, including on the environment and health protections that they claim affect their expected future profit.
That's right, a company was able to sue a country over a public health measure through an international court. How the f*** is that possible? Philip Morris International, a company with annual net revenues of $80 billion, basically threatened to sue Togo, whose entire GDP is $4.3 billion. Togo, justifiably terrified by threats of billion-dollar settlements, backed down from a public health law that many people wanted. And it's not just Togo. 2 tobacco companies sued Australia in its highest court. Philip Morris International is currently suing Uruguay. British American Tobacco sent a similar letter to Namibia, the Solomon Islands.
Pharmaceutical companies will be allowed to expand their monopolies, restricting the availability of affordable generic drugs. The TPP requires internet service providers to become internet policemen, watching your every click. It is a one-way ticket. Once signed, it will be locked in place for decades. But the scariest thing about the TPP is that there are 26 chapters that cover our daily lives that we have not seen. So let's raise $100,000 as a reward for the missing chapters of the TPP. Help uncover $1 trillion secret that will affect the whole world. Make your pledge today.